in Liverpool, the UFC is doing a card that is going to be main evented by the undefeated Darren Till. This is the guy who is coming off a win over Cowboy Cerrone, a big finish of a very tough opponent in him. He's going to be taking on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now, this fight, I mean, is, boy, a battle on the feet that to me goes one of two ways. Either could turn into a war from the outset if these guys really want to engage, or it could end up being a very cautious battle. Sometimes when you get guys whose skills, kind of cancel each other out a little bit, they can be a little hesitant at first, huh?
You know, Wonderboy is a phenomenal striker, and I appreciate what he does. But I think he has the potential to always make a fight not look great because of his movement and the way he's able to, I mean, against Jorge Masvidal, who's known as a gritty warrior. I mean, right now, if you told me that Till and Masvidal were fighting each other, I would think that's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Crazy two guys just going head to head and trying to kill each other. But as aggressive and as explosive as Till is, Wonderboy could use his footwork to really make it, difficult to have that kind of barn burner match. He either catches you and knocks you out with, some kind of kick in a highlight fashion, or not. You know what I mean? There's kind of only two ways that Wonderboy's fights kind of work out. He either catches you with a spin kick or that hook kick off his leg, and he can get a knockout, or he dances around and outpoints you and looking for that shot. And so, I don't know. As far as a 5-round brawl, a barn burner type fight, he's just, he's almost kind of like that really phenomenal wrestler. He's kind of like the striking version of John Fitch. John Fitch is a very efficient grappler, but his style was not necessarily favorable towards creating, great fights, but he beat a lot of people, and that's how, Wonderboy is. He's beaten everybody except for, the champ. And those fights too, if he ends up beating Till, it's like you almost have a situation where you have this guy, if you don't want him to be your gatekeeper because he can knock everybody off, and then I don't think people are really eager to see a third Woodley Thompson fight, right?
No.
But I mean, if you put all the best competition first and they have to get through Wonderboy and he gets to keep the #1 moniker, that's
maybe what you get. That is but that's assuming you get Tyron Woodley back in there, sooner than later. But yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, he's going to knock out 2 or 3 of your top guys while Woodley's shoulders healing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now when Woodley comes back, the only one standing and the dust clears is Thompson.
Yeah,
again.
Thompson hadn't moved. You mentioned footwork. Now, how important is something like that when you're game planning for a striker like Till? Because Till's a southpaw, so he's got a disproportionate amount of power coming from one side, whereas Thompson has the ability to constantly switch stances and things like that to almost be ambidextrous in his defense.
Yeah. The thing that the cage has done, and people have only caught on to it for the last couple of years now, is that predominantly your hardcore full contact striking arts happen within a boxing ring, right? So boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, K1, all occur in a boxing ring. It's hard to run away from somebody. It's hard to move. Machida would not do very well in a boxing ring because he couldn't run in a circle away from somebody because they could just step left, step right. It's much easier to cut somebody off when the ropes have those corners. Because then if, I could strafe 2 or 3 feet to my right, strafe 2 or 3 feet to my left. Even look at Mayweather, who's probably the greatest evasive defensive fighter of all time in boxing. He still has to shield and hide up against the ropes because he can't dance the whole time because people can catch him. Whereas the circular nature of the cage, it's hard to corner people. So these guys like Till, who, if this was in a boxing ring, I would really I'm like, hey, you know what? I think he actually has a little bit of the edge. But when it's in a circle, the footwork, the karate style open mat work type, dance around, hit you, dance out of it, is much more effective. It wouldn't work very well in a boxing ring in a smaller area because they get cut off. But in the octagon or in the cage, especially in Bellator's circle, it's even more of a striker movement favorable. It is difficult. You can't really corner somebody off by striking with them. You have to actually engage and grapple with them if you want to cut them off.
You can't corner somebody without a corner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's no corners inside there. I mean, the little corner on the octagon, I mean, it is what it is. But if you want to slow somebody down, that's why Machidas of the world, Anderson Silva, their movement and their footwork works so well. And Thompson, he's able to dance around, and it's hard to get to them. And then they fire punches from long range or strikes from long range and then get out. And they're not consumed with, and that's the one thing that Thompson does a great job with. He's not consumed with trying to knock you out. He just wants to hit you. So he's like, all right, if I put my knuckles on your chin or I put them into your rib cage, if I put the heel of my foot on your face and I don't get hit back and I move out of the way, I'm winning. And if amongst that, one of these shots hit a vital area, I catch you behind the ear, right on the chin, spin your head, or catch you in the solar plexus, and one of these shots drop you, I'll take it. But they're not looking for it, and so and then in his mindset, if I hit you 1 or 2, 3 times and I jump out of here, I'm winning, and he's right, that goes on the scoring criteria, he's winning.